Well, good afternoon. Thank you all for attending today. We wanted to provide an update briefing on our efforts to be able to protect the health and safety of our state's firefighting force and how to make our communities more fire safe. My name is Mike McGuire, and I'm honored to be able to represent Northern California in the state Senate. And I'm joined today by legislative leaders. They are the reason we are here and how this proposal has gotten so far. And I want to say thank you to Assemblymember McGuire Curry, Senator Jones, Senator Rubio, Assemblymember Mark Levine, Senator Lamone, Assemblymember Billy Abuja. There we go. Give us a moment. I want to say thank you to Senator Min and Assemblymember Lackey who are here today. We are also joined by the president of CAL FIRE Firefighters, Local 2881. We have President Tim Edwards here today. The vice president of CAL FIRE Firefighters, Pete Manoa. Thank you so much, Mr. Vice President. We have CAL FIRE Captain Liz Brown here today. And of course, we have the gold standard of America's firefighting force, CAL FIRE Firefighters, who are with us today. Can we please give them a round of applause to the women and men who do such an amazing job each and every year for the residents of California. I think we need to be candid. Time is running out. Time's running out. Fire season is here. California and the West has already started to burn. And yet again, the Golden State is facing a firefighter shortage. Experts believe that this year's wildfire season could be one of the most hellacious on record, brought on by the worst drought in California and what the western United States have seen in the last 12 centuries. And the alarm, it couldn't be louder. It's time to fix the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage, and ignoring this crisis makes our communities less fire safe, and it puts the health and safety of CAL FIRE firefighters at risk. And that's why, together, we're moving groundbreaking bipartisan legislation forward. Speaking of moving forward, I'm going to have DGS come on forward, and we're going to try to fix this mic once and for all, please. The old plug it in and unplug it trick. There we go. My goodness. But again, thank you all for joining. So let's talk about why we're here today. We're here today to be able to protect the health and safety of thousands of firefighters. We're here to be able to propose a modern-day staffing plan for CAL FIRE that will include the following three pillars. Number one, we believe we need to immediately hire 1,124 CAL FIRE firefighters. So let's break this down. We're proposing to hire 356 new full-time firefighters to get full staffing on its fire engines. Now, the United States Forest Service, they have 3 people on their engines. Most local municipal departments, they have 3 firefighters on their engines. CAL FIRE, 2.7. 2.7. CAL FIRE only achieves 3 people per engine when forced overtime is implemented. 3 firefighters on an engine would become a new mandated minimum in the state of California with this bipartisan legislation. Number 2, in the pillar, we're also advancing a mandated minimum for firefighting hand crews. Most immediate, this legislation would mandate 16 additional hand crews of 48 firefighters each to provide on-the-ground support during fire season be hired immediately. Their job is to proactively move on defensible space and fire prevention projects and to protect vulnerable communities. Number 3, this legislation would mandate a modern-day staffing plan for CAL FIRE, and it's about damn time. This staffing plan will ensure that the agency can meet the staffing and infrastructure needs in this new mega fire reality that we all live in. The completion of this study would be delivered to the legislature and to the governor no later than 12 months after the bill is signed. I think we can all agree. Our state, it's facing unprecedented destructive wildfires. Fixing the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage will help make sure we can fight these wildfires and protect communities and protect our environment. I want to end here with this. We need to fix the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage for the health and safety of CAL FIRE firefighters, who are the gold standard of America's firefighting force. What I'm about to say is no firefighter will want to talk about this, but this shortage is threatening the lives and mental health of CAL FIRE firefighters up and down this great state. This severe shortage is putting the health and safety of firefighters at risk. Due to staff shortages, CAL FIRE firefighters are working long overtime hours. Many times they are deployed 40 to 60 days in a row without a single day off. And they're deployed in incredibly traumatic conditions. And what we know, working these long 40 to 60 days in a row away from their families is leading to significant stress and mental health challenges among the CAL FIRE firefighting force. Over the last 4 years, more than 54,000 calls have been made by firefighters to state mental health hotlines. Let that sink in for a moment. 54,000 mental health calls. The women and men who are the heart of CAL FIRE would never say this out loud, but they're at their breaking point. This is simply not sustainable. 2021 in the United States of America, 2021 represented the first year on record in this nation that firefighter suicide was the leading cause of death within America's firefighting ranks. CAL FIRE has dedicated their lives to keep us safe. Now we need to step up as a state to keep them safe and fight for firefighters. And shame on us if this legislature, if this governor doesn't act, especially knowing that the shortage is literally putting the lives of CAL FIRE firefighters at risk and making our communities more vulnerable. I would now like to turn it over to our partners in this critical legislation, this group of bipartisan legislative leaders, 39 strong from the State Senate and State Assembly. And first and foremost, I'd like to introduce Assemblywoman McGuire Curry.
Thank you very much, Senator. I really appreciate you having all of us here today. And this is a bipartisan issue that we want to make sure we take care of. You know, not too long ago, I had 6 fires burning in my district in each of my counties, and I saw firsthand the amazing commitment for those who answered the call. These men and women answered the call. There are heroes. And we've always known this, but our state and local authorities and the people who live on a call to come to aid of our communities are simply amazing in the most difficult of circumstances. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. This is not an easy job. I know there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and you've worked so many hours. And when I drive up and down my district and I see the fire going on and you're in the heat and you're trying to keep some semblance of sanity, thank you. Right now, as we stand here, I have 2 fires in my district. And the men and women are out there immediately, and I want to thank them. They've contained one of the fires right outside of my town of Winters, California, within minutes. We have one now burning right now that's at 15% containment. On a hot day like this, can you imagine? So gone are the days that we wait to respond to our fires. We must redouble our efforts as trying to reduce risk and increase warnings. That's why Senator McGuire's legislation is so important, and that is why I am very, very proud to be a co-author of SB 1062. Thank you very much, and the next speaker is Senator Jones.
Good afternoon. I'm Senator Brian Jones. I am the Senate Republican Caucus Chairman, and I represent San Diego County, where we have our experience with fires as well. The famous Cedar Fire and the Witch Creek fires, plus many others, have burned in and through the area that I represent. And every year, the fire season gets longer and longer and longer. The hours, the days, the weeks that firefighters spend on fire lines cause exhaustion, injuries, and deaths. And down in San Diego, our firefighters are either traveling across the state to go help other firefighters, or firefighters are traveling all the way down to San Diego to help us. This measure at Senate Bill 1062 will help save the lives of the men and women who help save our lives. I urge my colleagues in the Assembly to swiftly pass this critical measure, and I urge the governor to sign it into law as soon as possible so that we can begin implementing it immediately. There's just too much at stake to not do so. Thank you very much. And next up is Senator Rubio.
Good afternoon. I'm Senator Rubio. First of all, I'm really excited to be here with Senator McGuire, and I want to take a moment to thank him for his leadership. I've had the privilege of being the co-chair to the Wildfire Working Group and Climate Resiliency work the last 2 years, and we were able to negotiate about $536 million in early action to prevent fires and loss of homes and loss of life. So again, I want to thank Mr. McGuire for his leadership and thank the men and women behind me, because I know that they do so much and continue to risk their lives, and we need to step up and take care of them. I wanted to share that I come from Los Angeles County, and we had the Bobcat fire the last 2 years, which was the second largest recorded in LA County. I never had to worry about fires in my backyard. And recently, that is a constant threat. So I'm here to strongly support this measure that's going to put a lot more firefighters in our communities to ensure that not only our communities are safe, but this is about ensuring that our firefighters are taken care of. And I know that traditionally we see them as just firefighters, but I want to humanize them a little bit. As a former teacher, school teacher, I can share with you that the trauma sometimes of our children not seeing their parents for long periods of time is really devastating. And sometimes they fall behind because their concern is not in the classroom, but it's outside. As you already heard, the long hours that these men and women have to work, and sometimes without seeing their families for months, that is unacceptable. And that's all due to the shortage in firefighters. So I'm here proudly standing here as a co-author to this measure to ensure that we put more firefighters on the beat to ensure that these women and fathers and mothers get to go home to their families, not only often, but safely. So again, I'm here proud as a co-author to ensure that this measure moves forward. And I will say a few Spanish words, if I may. This is a little harder. Buenas tardes, soy la senadora Susan Rubio representando el Distrito 22 en el Valle de San Gabriel, que incluye las montañas que recientemente se estaban quemando. Es el incendio más grande, segundo más grande en la historia de Los Ángeles. Quiero agradecer al senador McGuire por su liderazgo y también a todos los bomberos que todos los días arriesgan sus vidas para protegernos. Estoy muy orgullosa del trabajo que hemos hecho aquí en el Senado. Fui la co-chair de un comité que puso dinero el año pasado para asegurar que estos incendios no sigan, pero hoy estamos aquí orgullosamente promoviendo un plan para poner más de 1,000 bomberos en nuestras comunidades, no nada más para asegurar que nuestras casas no se quemen, pero para salvar vidas. Y el otro lado es que los bomberos que trabajan más de 40 horas, a veces pasan meses sin ver a sus familias, y aquí estamos primeramente para agradecerles y apoyarlos y decir que no es suficiente que nada más pongamos bomberos, pero que también tengan tiempo con sus familias. Ahorita sabemos que muchos bomberos hablan porque tienen problemas mentales acerca de las circunstancias que han sufrido con estas quemazones últimamente. Y aquí estamos una vez más para apoyarlos, poner más bomberos y asegurar que el Estado de California los proteja a ellos como ellos nos protegen a nosotros. Gracias. Now I will introduce Assembly Living.
Thank you so much, Susan, Senator Susan Rubio. Thank you very much, Majority Leader McGuire, for bringing us together. Thank you to the firefighters that are behind us and that are in front of us in fighting the fires that have afflicted our communities. I've got one right now at Sears Point, which is on my commute home, and I don't recall a year that I haven't had a fire that's along my drive home from Sacramento. And I'm just grateful for all of the work and firefighting and planning that goes in to make sure that those fires aren't as tragic as they have been in the past. When we have these large events, the large fire events, we often see trucks and engines roll in, and it's really amazing to see the different towns and cities and fire districts that they come from throughout the state of California and even outside of California. But this plan, this staffing plan that we've got here will make the wait a little bit easier, will mean that we have the rapid response that California needs to really protect life and property. That with the hand crews, that we can do the really hard, laborious work to make sure that fires are less destructive. This is a plan that will get us to that point. I want to say that I want to share with you, firefighters can't do this alone. You've got to be a part of this. If you have thought about doing home hardening, don't just keep thinking about it, do it. Protect your home. It's not just good for your home, it's good to protect your neighbors and your entire community, to do that defensible space, to make sure that your home will not burn down. It is a force multiplier for everyone. And for everyone that is doing that work, you should be recognized with something called a good homeowner standard. If you're a good driver, there's a good driver standard that everyone can get insurance if you're a good driver. And in California, we need to incentivize people to do the home hardening that can protect whole communities by creating a good homeowner standard so that everyone who does this important work to protect themselves and their neighbors can get the insurance that is affordable and that they need. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember, and thank you for your leadership. We'd now like to be able to introduce Assemblymember Belia Apuda.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This legislation could not have happened at a better time. Just yesterday, local news channels have covered 3 different wildfires that have broken out into the surrounding areas of Sacramento, promptly 1 evacuation order in Napa. And this happened in May, not in August, not in September, but May. We know that the issues are getting worse as these years go on. The West is getting drier and hotter, promptly more devastating wildfires that are getting harder and harder to contain. Our firefighters need to be more supported. They cannot consistently get calls upon that our communities are not safe, but we have to work through this. The current status of our firefighters' workforce is unsustainable. The shortage has led to higher risk working conditions and over 54,000 calls to mental health and our firefighters. With hiring over 1,100 new firefighters, we can provide more fire resilience in California and allow our current workforce to get sufficient back to a desperate need that we need to be at. We need to keep up with what is going on here in California. I go to different states and I tour, and the first thing that comes out of their mouths is saying, they don't talk about earthquakes anymore. They say, hey, what's going on with all the fires over there? That's what you hear all the time here in different states, right? And we turn on the TV and we always try to figure out what can we do more. But we're doing it here. We're doing it by backing up our firefighters. We're doing it by backing up our communities. And I just want to thank the senator for bringing this up. And, you know, he has our full support, and we're going to make this happen. So thank you all for being here today.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember. This has been a team effort. And speaking of team effort, we want to say thank you to Senator Min for his leadership. Senator Min, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Senator McGuire, for bringing us together today, and to our partners at CAL FIRE, including the folks behind me, California Professional Firefighters. I'm proud to be a co-author of SB 1062, which provides CAL FIRE with the staffing and resources we know we need to strengthen the fight against wildfires across our state. Now, I have the privilege of representing a number of coastal communities in Orange County. My home city of Irvine, Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, and you don't think of these places as being anything but vacation areas. We have safe neighborhoods, but obviously, like the rest of the state, we've been subject to increasing threats of fire every year. The Silverado fire less than 2 years ago, which came perilously close to taking out good parts of Irvine. This February, a wind-driven event in Laguna Beach, which burned 150 acres for 14 days, threatening homes and properties throughout the Emerald Bay community, was put out by the heroism of the Emerald Bay Firefighters, which we had the privilege of honoring recently. Last month, another wildfire burned over 30 homes in Laguna Niguel's coastal fire area and prompted mandatory evacuations for thousands of residents. A total of 21 homes were completely destroyed. Now this year, like the years before, it is shaping up to be one of the most challenging yet. We know this is the new normal. The fuel is drier than ever. Drought and hotter temperature means that we will face an omnipresent threat of wildfires going forward. And the last thing that our community needs is and can afford is a shortage of firefighters. This investment brought forth by Senator McGuire and the rest of the legislators behind me is going to be a critical investment in greater staffing levels. It's also an important investment in the health and safety of our first responders who work as many as 40 days in a row away from their families. We heard about this statistic, 54,000 calls made last year by firefighters to mental health hotlines. We need to provide these brave men and women with support. Hiring new firefighters will help alleviate those stresses, while at the same time saving money for taxpayers because the state will be able to pay less for overtime and outside support. Fixing the firefighter shortage has to be a top priority as we face the new normal of constant wildfires in trying to prevent these and protecting our environment, giving CAL FIRE the tools they need to be successful. So thank you, Senator McGuire, for doing this.
Senator Min, thank you so much. Our next speaker has dedicated his life to keeping the public safe, and that's Assemblymember Lackey.
Well, thank you to all. Good gravy. Thank you to all those who are behind me here, who have made the courageous career choice that they have that benefits all of us. You know, I would also like to thank Senator McGuire for bringing Senate Bill 1062 to the forefront now, because when there's an emergency, something's wrong with my voice. We'll all be thankful that this life-saving measure was taken. Unfortunately, almost every year we're reminded of the destructive nature of wildfires in California. With outdated equipment, low staffing, and unmanaged forests, we'll sadly only have more tragic situations with loss of life. This Senate Bill 1062 is a strong step towards addressing and correcting one of these very critical issues. I know that we'll all work together. When I say we, I'm talking about all the legislative people and all of you and these firefighters. And we're going to work together to address all these factors so that these situations can be managed. With more staffing, our firefighters will be better able to respond to all these emergencies, and this means more lives saved and less property destroyed. I'm a proud co-author of this bill, and I'm happy to continue working with all of my colleagues on addressing the significant issues that threaten us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember. She has seen fires in her hometown year after year after year. We're grateful for her leadership. We're going to give the floor over to Senator Limon.
Thank you, Senator McGuire. I'm Senator Limon, and I represent Ventura and Santa Barbara counties. And regrettably, we know fires all too well. But we also know that when fires show up, CAL FIRE firefighters show up for us. And when they show up for us, we as a legislature should show up for them. I know what it's like to be in an area where you have to be evacuated and the fire is burning to such a degree that your local folks cannot do it alone and need to get help. And who is first to be there to give us their support and resources? They are the CAL FIRE firefighters. And it's so important for us to ensure that as the state sees an increasing number of not just wildfires, but the magnitude is also getting bigger of all of these fires, that we have adequate support. I know how important it is to have hand crews ready and set to go. I know how important it is to have all of the engine staff completely, because that is what saves lives. It is what saves communities. So here we are today showing up for CAL FIRE firefighters because they have shown up for us. And I am proud to be a co-author of this measure, of this bill, and hope it makes it all the way to the finish line with your help. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out. Fire season is here. And there has been no bigger advocate to be able to get this done than the president of CAL FIRE Firefighters. His name is Tim Edwards. I want to say thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tim Edwards. I'm the president of CAL FIRE Local 2881, representing the men and women of your fire department. I want to start off by thanking the legislators, both on the Assembly and Senate side, for championing our bill and being here. But I also want to highlight something else. We couldn't have a big crowd behind us today because a lot of our guys are stuck on duty and short of staff. So I reached out to my brothers from 522 who are standing behind me. from Sac Metro, this local area. And their president, Trevor, told me he'll be here to support us because you know why? The lack of staffing causes strain on local government firefighters too. I'm elected to tell you the facts and the truth, and you all can see the physical effects of wildland fires, the toxic smoke put into the air, causing a strain on our health care, homes burning down, causing more problems with our home shortages. But the reality is, it's the health and safety of the men and women on the front lines, not going home, whether they're on a fire or in a station, protecting one of our 120 cities that we are responsible, or our 32 counties that we also are responsible for. All of them stuck on duty, 30, 40 days plus, whether seeing devastating towns like Paradise or the Tubbs, or running medical aids and seeing death and tragedy there, and not getting time to go home to their families. Some lost homes in these fires and weren't able to go home. That plays a toll on the mental health and physical of our firefighters. If there's now ever a need for policymakers, state finance to stand up and take care of the men and women that protect the resources of CAL FIRE and the residents, it's now. Now is the time. Billions of dollars in surplus. There is no excuse not to get this bill signed, and I thank you all for showing up.
Mr. President, thank you for your leadership, and thank you to the women and men of CAL FIRE. We are now honored to be able to bring forward the Vice President of CAL FIRE Firefighters Local 2881, Mr. Pete Manoa.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank Senator McGuire for bringing attention to this much-needed staffing issue that we have in the state of California. As it has been stated by many here today, the men and women of CAL FIRE need your help. I cannot stress enough that additional personnel are needed to provide relief and bolster the frontline firefighters who serve and protect the citizens and the visitors of this great state. The tasks assigned to CAL FIRE has grown exponentially due to climate change and population growth. To put it in perspective, in 1976, the population of California was approximately 20 million people. Today, in 2022, there are an estimated 40 million people residing in the state now. CAL FIRE has the same amount, if not less, fire engines and less personnel than we did in the 1970s. I ask all of you today to please support this important legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. We want to say thank you to our next speaker. Her name is Captain Liz Brown. She is on the front lines each and every year. She's a CAL FIRE firefighter for over 20 years. We're going to turn the floor over to Captain Brown.
Good afternoon. I appreciate the invite to come and talk today. The unprecedented fire seasons are now a matter of record. I've been in the fire service for over 26 years, 21 of them with CAL FIRE, and I can say unequivocally that fires we fight today are bigger, more dangerous, and more destructive. Gone are the days when we were able to rest, recoup, and spend time with our families during the off-season. I have not heard the word off-season in well over 10 years. The human cost is being felt. Months without downtime, desperate calls for mental health, broken marriages, and suicide. Many of my coworkers, including myself, have disappointed families all year long, not just fire season, because season is all year long. We talk about it at the firehouse dinner table while on shift for days on end. And it's in those conversations that we try to help heal each other, but we have to be able to know that someone is looking out for us. Without adequate support through staffing, we lose hope that the people we have sworn to protect don't see us as a person, but rather as an expendable resource. Firefighters will do whatever needs to be done to protect our state. The fire service is a calling. We serve because something deep within us wants to help and protect our fellow citizen, even possibly at the cost of our own life. That hope can be restored if we support this bill. However, it is dangerous to the firefighters in our communities not to add firefighters in 2022. We're at war every summer. You would never want your son, daughter, or child to be sent into a war zone without adequate staffing, equipment, and resources. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? Yet, that is exactly what we have done for too many years to count. I come from the field to ask that the McGuire bill be done in legislation or in the budget. Senator McGuire, thank you for giving us a voice. We have made incredible strides in the fire service, becoming more progressive, inclusive, and representative of our community. I'm a fire captain. I mentor a younger generation of firefighters, and I cannot at this time offer them any hope for relief. Hope that they might have some time off to see their families. Hope that the state of California will show them in a meaningful way that their service, dedication, sacrifice means something. Supporting this bill will restore that faith so we can protect our communities and let the firefighters of CAL FIRE Local 21 know that their hard work matters, their families matter, and that their life matters. Thank you.
We're going to open it up for questions, any comments. I just want to end it right here, and we're going to open it up to the hardworking journalists who are here today. Back in February 2020, we were able to rely on inmate labor, inmate firefighters. We're down 4,200 inmate firefighters from a decade ago. It's time that we finally fix this shortage and do what we should have done years ago, and that's fully staff CAL FIRE engines as well as our firehouses. This is unacceptable, and I do not want to spend another year, 2 a.m. in the morning, calling the CAL FIRE chief, watching yet another one of my communities burn down. Anger, frustration, you're damn right. It's time we do what's right at CAL FIRE firefighters. We'd like to open it up to be able to see if there's any questions from those who are gathered here today from the press. All right. Hearing, seeing none, the final piece I'll just say, this is a $220 million investment, $220 million investment. And to put that into perspective, in the 2017, 18, and 19 fire seasons, we had $30 billion worth of insured losses in the state of California. I promise you, if we don't act now, it's going to get worse. And again, shame on us for not stepping up for CAL FIRE firefighters when they step up for us year after year after year. Thank you so much, President Edwards. Thank you for your partnership. Could we give another round of applause to the hardworking women and men of CAL FIRE, along with SAC Metro and all the firefighters in the state. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Thank you so much.